I'm going to go ahead and walk through the entire story of how the Radiant Saxophone Ensemble actually came to be. You have a big part in it, and I don't think you really know that. But actually, we're going to start with COVID specifically. You guys were freshmen when you had to go into high school for that COVID year.
Right.
Yeah.
That must have been incredibly rough, first of all.
A lot of people didn't like make the switch into band. Most people like drop music.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of just dwindled.
Yeah, because like we couldn't start like playing band. We had to like go outside, and most people didn't think it was gonna work. Like they kind of decided everything like last moment. So people were like, "We don't know if there's gonna be band, so we're not gonna give you our money."
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me, we actually were one of the most proactive schools in Indiana for us to really push forward for that.
Yeah.
I remember actually playing Second Suite by Holst with a soprano saxophone under a poncho because that's what we had declared was
your
safe.
fix.
So we had masks with magnets that opened up to our mouths and then sealed.
I broke so many reeds on those masks.
Yep.
It was unbelievable.
So bad. But it was really bad. I remember, I hope you have never tasted this from the saxophone, but I put a trash bag over the saxophone once, and I didn't realize it was scented. So for a year, it just tastes like I was breathing in trash bag. Like,
Ugh.
no bueno. But yeah, I mean, COVID was a rough time for all of us. Definitely. Yeah. I can't imagine what you guys felt like as freshmen going into high school. I was a senior when that hit, like lost the end of my junior year and all of my senior year.
Yep.
So it definitely was kind of challenging to play things, especially we did the online stuff for, you guys were saying like band would have to be outside or things like that.
Yeah.
For us, we did like smart music almost exclusively. And that was super fun because you could play any song on there. I paid extra for the premium, so I had all the music.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. But it was really difficult in general just to like play something with people. And I know our wind ensemble actually almost made like an ad hoc wind ensemble to play outside on like the football field. It never ended up happening, unfortunately. But from there, I actually heard about the Cincinnati Youth Wind Ensemble and heard that you guys were trying to do it again. And I was like, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
And we kind of jumped into it. Did you know much about the Cincinnati Youth Wind Ensemble before you started your freshman year?
Yeah, because I was in junior Psi Week.
That's what I thought.
In 8th grade, and I wanted to audition for the high school ensembles, and then COVID happened, and like it got cut short in 8th grade. And then I guess halfway through my freshman year, I heard that they were starting it back up, but they were doing chamber ensembles.
Yeah.
And I'd never been in a saxophone ensemble before, and I was like, well, that's awesome. Like all these other instruments have like small brass ensemble and like woodwind quintet. And then we have this like big saxophone ensemble.
Yeah.
And it was like so awesome to still get to go and play music with other people in a saxophone ensemble. Like, so yeah.
Yeah. I still remember, I was told by Dean Haynes about it, who was a freshman here, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But he was the person that was running it along with Rico Allen, which was just amazing. But I made a 2.5-hour drive down here every weekend my senior year.
Yeah.
A lot of driving. Love the drive now. Know it very well. Which is nice. But it definitely was something that kind of when we got there and just like being able to play again in an ensemble was definitely just, it was something that really took everybody off guard. I remember playing October. We played October as the first piece we played.
Yeah.
I hadn't played this tenor in like 6 months, and I played it for the first time, and Rico cut me off after it. I'm like, what'd I do? Why'd you cut it off? He's like, you sound great. Can you play that again? I'm like, yeah. And I just played it again. I'm like, I've never been in an ensemble with actual like people saying, yes, this sounds good. You're doing this.
Right.
And it's just like, wow, that's a really nice feeling to have that.
Yeah.
I think the big thing that was really cool about Psi for me was getting to know like people like you and the other people around the Cincy area that just were also really into music and were trying to find something to do because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I remember our performance was even kind of scuffed a little bit.
Yeah.
We had Dr. Bunkty and Dr. Hood now were both playing with us.
Yeah.
And it was very, very interesting. Definitely had some rough spots, but we put on a saxophone ensemble performance in COVID, and that was just huge. Kind of after that, did you have a lot, just from your freshman year, that really impacted you with? Like, was that your only playing opportunity? Did you have other things?
I was playing in my high school wind ensemble, but we weren't doing a lot. We were playing like super easy stuff and like sitting really far apart, so saxophone ensemble was what I looked forward to the most.
Yeah. I was in the exact same boat. It's like I actually get to play with people, and we can stand by each other
Yeah.
and actually like do the thing.
Yeah.
So that was for my senior year my only opportunity. It sounds like it was basically the one you looked forward to the whole time. Something happened unfortunately I made All-State in Indiana my junior year, and with that it was on March 13th. So it's like, Friday the 13th. I remember that did not happen. But the year after, if you made that All-State band, IMEA invited you to a special, like, delayed All-State band that was, like, at the end of May, which was very odd. But from there, we had a few people that were able to play and things like that. We're like, hey, this is really cool. We have a performance opportunity again where we have, like, 100 kids here. And you could tell that the people running it were so burnt out and burned of COVID that they just like, weren't in the game. They were really dropping the ball in communication and stuff like that, which was super frustrating. And all I remember was we played at the Palladium in Carmel, so great venue, amazing time. But after the fact, I just remember driving home and just complaining the whole time about the adults and how they were adulting not well. And my mom eventually snapped at me and was like, I don't want to hear this. Like, stop. If you were going to complain about it, do it better or stop complaining. Like, I think you just unleashed something inside of me. So after that, I was like, yeah, there's some people from Cincy that would come down for sax ensemble. I texted Dean. I texted Josh. I don't know if I remember. I thought I texted you the first year. Yeah. I texted you and 2 other people the first year. And the only 2 that ended up coming in were Josh and Dean, which was amazing. We had a great time that first year. But the idea kind of what was happening that whole first year was just us getting together to actually play something. We have a picture right here of the first ensemble. And it really was just something that was like 12 of us. We just played around in a circle. It was really scuffed. I remember playing outside and looking over at Mr. Josh Duber's iPad and just seeing that it had died from heat. Yeah, it was rough. But we played through it, and that was kind of just what we were expected to do, quote unquote. That's what the vibe was of the ensemble, and it was a great time. There's some recordings we have of like our tuning. Yeah, you played saxophone for 36 hours in a weekend, we can tell. But it really was just the idea of kind of doing things for students by students. We had the amazing Adam Beaupre, who is currently the assistant band director at Munster High School, who had just graduated from college and actually didn't have a job placement at all. So his first opportunity out of college for conducting was with Radiant.
Oh, nice.
So he got to do that. We got to have a few kids come in from different areas that were all-state musicians. Our main Barry player was actually someone that was supposed to play with me in the all-state in 2020 that didn't get to. So that was a cool opportunity for him. And it just became this kind of vibe of, yeah, let's get a bunch of kids together and let's play some good music. Let's just have a good time. I think I remember having to push back our schedule on the first sax ensemble on Sunday because we stayed up too late because we went to Topgolf until close on Saturday. So most of us went to bed at like 1:45 or 2, and everyone was at the first rehearsal spot at like 10:30 and nobody was there. And it's like, oh, is this happening? So, and that trend tends to stay around, unfortunately, when you started early. But it really was just a great time because we could take a lot of risks in what we're doing. Kind of like you were saying, there's not a lot of things for saxophone, really. I mean, you could be the solo player in a symphony orchestra, you can play in concert band, you can play in a jazz band or like a pop setting, but there's really no large ensemble. There is, and it's been growing definitely in the last couple of years, but it's definitely something where it's just like, this isn't an opportunity that's really available. Especially with what we were trying to do. I remember we were playing our first pieces just off of transcriptions we had from our local band program, and we were trying to sound like trombones. I remember like playing way too loud, like, whoa, and it's just going, and it just being like, okay, well, that's the effect we were looking for. But just trying to figure out how to do those things, adding multiphonics into our music, things like that. And it's just like, yeah, there's such an untapped world here of what you really can do with the saxophone. I think something that is also really important is as we've gone on every year, we've grown with individuals. You came your second year. Do you remember much about that time and like how you felt going into it, how it felt overall?
I remember like after the first year you invited me and I didn't go because I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, the only way I know this guy, he like stood across from me in Siwi and just like moved a lot when he played, you know, like danced around.
Yeah.
But after I saw pictures of the first year and like heard videos, I was like, wow, like why did I not go? So then when you asked me to come the second year, I'm like, yeah, sure. So, you know, my mom drove me over and we like basically hung out and I just went and played saxophone. But I just remember like having so much fun and like, wow, this music is like challenging me and I'm like meeting new people and yeah, so that convinced me like moving forward, I want to keep doing this and like this is awesome. And like seeing it grow from that, like it's just like, oh my god, like there's so many more people coming and it's just like playing harder music and like the organization is like getting better and better and it's just like and I still remember when it was called Summer Saxophone Ensemble.
Oh my
not
god.
Radiant.
Yep.
I have all the old group me's and it's like
Summer Sax. Oh, the group me's.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so glad I started doing Radiant and like it's just awesome to see how it's grown.
Yeah. We had I want to say 18 saxophonists the second year. We have a photo. But I was definitely very happy that you came. You were somebody that especially helped. Like in my mind, I had a lot of instrumentation things going on. I'm like, I trust the music major on Alto 1. I don't know who's going to play Alto 2. I'm worried. So I'm like, okay, no, this is perfect. You'll do this. And we tried to even program a piece you played before, Festive Overture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we quickly realized nobody looked at it. We're like, we're not playing this. It is too hard. But when it comes to like actual, like what the quality of the ensemble was each year, the second year, in my opinion, was kind of like the dip we had. And for that to be your first experience, and then for that to be like the push-off point, you can really just see how much it's gone. Yeah. Especially into the third year, we definitely had a big jump in what we were doing. I think we went from 18 people to a little over 30 people. Yeah. And with that, we started adding chamber music more proper. We played one of Josh's arrangements of Luxorumque. Yeah. And we also played Vesuvius by him. That was crazy. But we had a lot of really good stuff that we were able to play. We started playing some Pokemon music. That was a great time. Just some like mix of jazz, classical, just trying to figure out new things to do. Yeah. And it was just a really good time with all of that. And it kind of became a real summer camp that year. Yeah. That was the year where we were in a huge backyard after Saturday, and we had 2 lines of like 15 people throwing frisbees back and forth at each other while people were playing cornhole, people were doing other things. It was kind of just like, go have fun. It's summer, you're a kid, go have fun. It was a really great time. I remember a lot of even professional connections being made, especially between me, Josh, and Andrew. That was something that was really, really important for me coming out of that year, is like, wow, what we're doing here is really special. This is something that isn't really being done right now. Yeah. The third year definitely, to me, my mom used the description of, it's like when you watch the one band you know is going to be good right before they get good. And that was the third year. And then the fourth year was entirely something else. Yeah. It went from kind of just ad hoc, having fun, get together with some people, really scuffed. Everybody pulls up to one person's parents' house and they made us a taco bar or something like that. We just hang out with their pets. And it's just like, you get to know a lot of people. You get to be integrated in this way. But last year was kind of our first push to do like students with students all the time. I think the cafeteria was something that really helped with that, like being able to eat with everybody. I know you really didn't have a lot of experience before that with Radiant. So how did that feel coming in, like as that being your first year? What sort of some things you remember from it, and what are some things that you really resonate with?
Yeah, I had never heard of it before. Did you invite me?
No. I think it must have been Jack.
It was Josh.
Or Josh, yeah.
Somebody, I had never heard of it.
I invited you through Josh. Josh said, go get this guy. I'm like,
right.
Cool. Okay. I'm away.
Yeah, so I mean, I went to that and I was like, when I got the music, first of all, I was like, okay, I'd never had to practice any band music before. Like everything I played in high school band was like, you played in band rehearsal and that's it. But I was practicing it like it was solo rap and I was like, this is hard. This is real music. And I was really excited as not even a college student to be like featured in the quartet with the octet that we played the La La Land. I was like, I was also really excited. I got put on like soprano 1. Yeah. And I was like, do they know who I am? Like, I'm just like some, I mean,
I saw you on that all-state list, brother.
That made me feel like more important. I felt like seen like, cause I was like, oh, I'm not a college kid. I don't stand a chance right now. Yeah. And it was probably part of why I went to music school. Cause it seemed so professional. I mean, it was like a huge room of people. and like the music was hard, and everything just seems so organized. There were like lists and everything. It like seemed like a serious thing. I was like, okay, I got to keep doing this as long as I can.
Yeah, and it was a super fun time last year. Definitely something that we had the third year was like, I felt too exclusive for like the saxophone octet we did. The saxophone octet, it was very much as many music majors as we had there that could play, but there wasn't enough music majors that were saxophone specific to throw on there, so it ended up being like the best tenor and bari from the high school I went to. And these kids really don't have any experience with college music aside from like marching band.
Right.
And we went out there and put out something that is incredibly high quality. And for me to be able to like share that experience with those people was amazing. And I kind of just knew from there that we had to diversify more and featuring who was coming in. And that was kind of the idea behind what you guys got to do, was it's like the best of the next class. Yeah. It's the high schoolers that are graduating. It's everybody. This is the future of what we have here. And that was definitely what we were trying to go for. And I'm very happy with that experience with that. Exactly. That was the goal. Something especially with what we do for our performances is the music we choose is definitely more popular on the side of things. And it's definitely for specific like musician / audience fulfillment. Yeah. Definitely like, oh yeah, when you hear Tank coming on, like everyone's like, we know it's about to happen. We know it's about to happen. And there was a lot of other stuff that was like that, where I just remember seeing people like Jackson Martin post like on their Snapchat stories like, I have never played rep like this before. Yeah. Why have I not? This is the best thing ever. Yeah. And even this year, we're having trouble getting percussionists because the lack of rep in that area, because we're taking a more classical approach, more holistic approach of trying to figure out what the saxophone can do. And it's definitely something that, at least from the musician standpoint, like you kind of said, you actually had to practice your music. That was something that at my high school, nobody practiced their music ever. Yeah. The music wasn't hard enough for us to practice our music. And I found, as I think I did like a super silly like Coconut Mall arrangement when I was 16 at that high school, and it was like legit hard. And everyone that was in it actually practiced and was like, whoa.
People will step up.
What just happened? Yeah. Not only if you push them, but if you put something in front of them they want to play. Yeah. That's a big thing. Like, do you guys have favorite pieces? Is it probably the La La Land piece from last year?
Yeah, probably because we got featured, like, and pretty much all of the planets. Yeah. Because it's like I recognize those as like real songs that professionals play, and I'm like, okay, I'm playing this, and it sounds like the recording almost.
Yeah. And I remember like practicing like in my high school band room. I was about to graduate, and I'm like, I don't know what to practice, and I started practicing that. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited. And then I go play in the ensemble, and I'm like second tenor, like behind Tyree, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and it sounded good. And I remember Max texting me the day before when I couldn't come the first day, and he's like, dude, this is awesome. This is crazy, and like, it sounds like an orchestra, and I've never done anything like this before, and it's just like so exciting.
I listen to the music beforehand, which is also something I rarely do. Yeah. So I was like, okay, like what's going on here?
I think it was really cool, especially last year, because I kind of want to know what was your experience to walking in and just seeing the chair set up and then seeing how many people were in that room.
Yeah, it scared me a little bit because it just looked so professional. Yeah. I mean, all the students were also like looked like full adults to me. I mean, they are. Some of them are. Yeah. And it was just like, okay, this is like way out of anything I've ever played before.
I think it's so cool too because we have this crossover of college-age musician and high school-age musician, where all of a sudden you have Phil Black on Barry One, where it's like, I didn't know a Barry saxophone could sound like that.
Exactly. Ever. That was the solo was cool, and I didn't feel left out. I mean, like Wes started talking to me like I think during the performance because we were standing next to each other, and he was just like talking to me like we were friends. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So one more thing I kind of want to talk about before we kind of transition out. So this is my high school tenor, which I bought my freshman year of high school. So I had it for 6 years before I passed it off to you. But we have quite a few stories I'd like to tell about this thing. So I'll show it to the camera real quick, but right there, the entirety of the C1 key is basically rubbed off. Yeah. This, along with all of these scratches on the bottom of the bell, are from laying it down on concrete.
Oh,
like this.
On the wrong side?
On the wrong side, because that's what we were taught was the right side. You have me trying to march with a Balam neck strap, which is interesting. So it rubbed a whole ring around here while I was trying to do choreo. The neck has been completely redone because right there, where you can see that mark, I actually was marching, moving the horn back and forth, whatever, and one of the marching cymbals came by and went,
oh my god,
and nailed it right there, and it was forever. I tried to fix it by moving it down. I made it so much worse. I even had Steven George's, shout out Moment's Notice Repair, but I even had Steven George's look at it and he's like, what did you do? How did this happen? This is not normal. I'm like, can you fix it? And like, I mean, Steven George's is amazing. Yeah. Obviously, this is one of his, he's refurbished this horn twice, which I think is why it's in such good shape. Mm-hmm. But it for me, it's really cool just like to see you to get to play it because this horn was so important to me. It did so much for me. This is what I had throughout all of high school. Like if I think back to what I really played in high school, it was this thing. Solo ensemble, this thing. Auditioned for college, this thing. Yeah. So it's just so cool to see somebody else get that use out of it, especially when it's hard to find a good tenor. And
that was good. Like it's so good.
It's ridiculous too. It's like for some reason, tenor saxophones, especially if you're playing classically, it's hard. It's just not it. Yeah. But this thing, I mean, it's just such a well-rounded horn. Mm-hmm. I want to say there's actually not stock resonators on there. I want to say he upgraded some of the resonaters, which is why it feels like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that thing is just so cool. Mm-hmm. Something else I wanted to talk about is, as Radiant, I mean, definitely we've done the Radiant Saxophone Ensemble. That's what you guys all did first. The inspiration for doing that was actually an event called the Indie Christmas Caroling Big Band. And this was something that I have done personally since I was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. The first time I played with that band, did I tell you guys the story about what happened the first time? So we show up in the morning. Basically, everybody lines up to, let's get in the big band set up in somebody's basement. The same vibe. It's like, oh, this is great. I got 30 people in somebody's basement with a big band set up. You got,
that's me loud.
Yeah, Channel 13, the main news in Indiana, just there with a camera. It's like, this is crazy. And sure enough, we rehearsed that everything, went out to somebody's house, and was like, oh, okay, this is the grandfather to one of our volunteers. That's really cool. So I went, and when we set up, we all just throw ourselves into a house. Like in this room, we just like throw 15 people in here, just try to do it, which is awesome, and it's so much fun. But we did that, and I set up. I had never played alto before, so I was on alto for the first time, and I was really kind of experimenting with it. And I was playing alto too. I was 16 years old. I had like little reindeer antlers on, and I was playing next to the Christmas tree, along with a kid named Josh Graham, who was kind of the person that was like one class before me at my high school. So kind of just having that be passed down, almost of seeing what it was like. And it was really cool because I just played like right next to the Christmas tree and right next to the grandfather, and I'm like, man, that was so much fun. I was smiling. He was crying. He was having such a good time. I'm like, this is amazing. Went through the rest of the day. I'm like, that's a great time. Kind of start to forget about it a little bit. 2 weeks later, I received a text that he passed away. He actually had stage 4 brain cancer when I played for him, and that was his last Christmas, and his whole family knew it, which made a lot more sense after the fact because they were very, very emotional. Since that happened, that kind of shaped me as a person on what I want to try to do, like with Radiant and things like that, and also provide more opportunities, not only for like young musicians to feel what that means, the fulfillment of playing for people like that, and also being on the other side of it, of like, imagine the worst thing in the world happening to you, and then you have somebody come do that for you. I mean, it's so emotional. It's so meaningful. Do you guys have any experiences that you remember from the Bloomington Christmas Caroling Big Band that kind of hit like that, or anything close to that?
Thinking through all our stops right now.
They definitely were spread out more, to say the least. And we were playing for a wider audience.
I think I remember when we went to the nursing home, like playing for all of those people, and it just felt so good to like give them just like a couple minutes of entertainment. It's like my grandma was in a nursing home, and I was just imagining like seeing a younger person come in and like do what they love to do. That's just like so awesome, like, and just so meaningful, and like people sharing their love of something to you is just like special, you know.
Especially love through music, especially when it's that time of the year. I mean, some people need a lot more cheering up during that time of the year. Do you have anything or not? Nothing that
I think same for me, the nursing home we went to. I mean, only one guy came out, but that didn't make a difference. I mean, we still played the entire performance just for him. Like, we kind of like shifted just all our focus towards him because he was the only guy and he was loving it the whole time.
Just imagine getting a private big
right?
band for yourself. I like that's such a cool treat. So as Radiant Ensembles continues to develop, we're definitely going to be trying to do things like this more. Our focus is shifting more from we are a saxophone ensemble to we are a nonprofit. We are a 501c3 recognized by the IRS, and we can start courting donations, things like that. We can start applying for grants soon.
Yeah.
The part that we're struggling with is the fact that we only have these 2 events that we've done. There's a lot more need in the community for these things and like what we're doing, and we really have a lot of people, I think, that want to be involved at a higher level even. And that's just thinking off people off the top of my head. I know social media is something we've really done to try to reach more people, especially in a world where social media, I've personally been off social media for about 9 months consistently. And every time I do get on to check, especially recently, it felt so taxing to have to run like the Radiant Instagram and then to see that one of you guys have posted, it was just like, that made my day. Yeah, and it's just so perfect. It's just something I gotta listen to, and I'm like, the big thing for me too is it's like you guys would be doing stuff like this, whether it was provided for you or not.
Right.
You would be trying to find your own opportunities.
Exactly.
And the thing is, it's like, why don't more of those exist? And which is very frustrating. That's where we come in. Our official mission statement, the way we have it worded now, is we are a music educational nonprofit that offers non-traditional music education events by doing performances, programs, and just lab bands, kind of community ensembles, just to really get people involved that can't play their instrument or haven't played their instrument forever. I know for Christmas band, I have over half the band that I ran in Fishers only plays on December 24th. They never pick their instrument up.
Really?
They play on December 24th. I go home and feel bad about my sound because of how good they sound. And then it's just like, we do it and see you next year every single time.
Yeah.
And it's the most like, the first time I felt it was heartbreaking because I didn't get to keep doing it, but now I know there's a great time to do it. It's every year.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I feel like the same thing has happened with Radiant. I know probably for you, you've always been like, okay, when's Radiant this year? I need to block this time out. I know it's the same thing for Josh. Josh said something that was really, really touching when he said it, I believe 3 years ago, or at the third sax ensemble, let me correct myself. But he mentioned how kind of his whole summers have revolved around that growing and how he's got to do that every year. And it was something that really just became a part of his life he didn't want to give up. And especially Josh is so incredibly talented, but doing like aerospace engineering on top of saxophone, like there is so much that he has to do. And he's able to stay involved in music curricularly. So he's graduating and he still has something to do in music.
Exactly.
One of the big things on why we started doing this, I mentioned that all-state band I got to go to in Indiana. We had Mr. Matt Conaway, or I don't think he's doctor. Yeah, Mr. Matt Conaway from Purdue. He's the Purdue director of bands. He basically just said to us, no matter what you do, don't stop playing your instrument. Even if you're a senior right now, go to college, march, play in a community band, just keep playing your instrument.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for where I was at, I mean, I drove 2.5 hours to do SciWe every weekend.
Yeah.
The reason I did that was because there wasn't any other opportunities. The closest one was SeaWe, which I will always think is the off-brand SciWe. It's the Southern Indiana Wind Ensemble, and I still call it SciWe when I'm there, and don't let people correct me. But that's the closest thing, and I remember walking into that group, and it was incredibly diverse in the age range. I want to say that the average age of the ensemble was probably 65, and it was just like, whoa, this is something that you don't really get to do. Like, you only get to play with the people that are your age. And I think that's something else that really, with what we're trying to do, is really, really meaningful and impactful. I mean, do you guys think as a studio you'd be as close as you are if you all didn't meet at Radiant and get those 2 days of a run up, especially for the freshmen?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Like the first couple weeks of school, I felt like I already knew people.
Yeah.
And people that I'd be afraid to approach normally, I was like, oh, I just sat next to them at Radiant.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like you have that connection. It's the same thing as like joining a club or a marching band when you get to school. It's like, oh, you know your section, you know this, and this. And just being able to provide that to not only you at your school, but like I'm at IU and I come here and I immediately just feel like I'm at home. Just because of the people here. When you guys come to IU, I feel like it's kind of the same way. I definitely remember even Walker Gilbert, who came there judged the concerto competition with me at IU, which is crazy.
Like officially?
For the saxophone studio. He was one of the judges. We had 13 judges. Everyone played blind, and we all did our different scores, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was like, "Oh, I really want to go here. I want to do this, this, and this." I remember him talking to our Josh Flores. Because apparently there was one at every school for some reason.
There is.
Yeah.
It's a thing with saxophones.
Yeah. But with that specifically, he's like, "Man, I really love to go here. I think UC's calling my name." I'm like, oh, we're going to lose all the good players. We got Andrew. We got Andrew Lurie. That's about it. But just to see, especially like when I saw OTR form, I was like, it really hit for me. I'm like, man, these guys are growing up. They're playing together. This is going to be a really cool group of kids. Yeah. And I really just kind of thought back to like, man, I wish I had that in high school. Right. I wish I had a group of people that I got to grow with like that. And there are camps in America right now. I went to IU's saxophone camp where I had a similar experience, and there's people that are in this camp. Like Isaac Boone did it the first year. He's going to be doing it this year as well. Dean Haynes, Ethan Shen. All these people are who I met through my camp experience. Yeah. And it's just so cool to keep creating something like that for people. I think for this year, nervous, excited at the same time. We're playing a lot of good rep.
Okay.
What have you guys looked at rep-wise? What are you excited for?
Really, I mean, I think I'm going to be playing in the classical ensemble, but all the jazz stuff are like all tunes I know, and like I really love those tunes a lot.
They're great. Yeah.
I'm super excited to see what we're going to do with Monin. Like I don't know if you already know who's going to be playing all the Barry stuff, or if you want to reveal that. But
I think it's all of the berries. That was the original plan. Was all of the berries. I don't know where we're at now, but we'll see. That'll be interesting.
We're excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for Arabesque.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I'm just excited to play good tenor parts because, in wind ensemble, like, really bad. But, like, when you get in saxophone ensemble, you get melodies and you can, like, show what you can do with tenor saxophone.
Exactly. Because, as a resident tenor saxophonist, you never get the part ever. It's, like, just always so boring. I remember playing, like, I want a flex band piece. Give me the clarinet 3-part. Just don't tell anybody. And it was just like, that works. But I think for me, October really has a special spot. October was the first piece I played here with you, obviously. But it's just kind of something that after the 4 years, my senior year, your freshman year, round 2, like we're doing October again.
Oh my God.
And it's just such a great piece. I'm super excited for that. We also, this year, we're giving out awards. I don't know if we talked to you guys about that much, but this is something where, and it's not just people like in the ensemble, it's also people around the ensemble, people that have helped out for longer, teachers, things like that. Yeah. And we definitely want to honor kind of where we got everything from, because I really do think it does come from our teachers always. I think that's who really pushes us. I mean, I was really close to my high school band directors. I assume both of you were kind of close to them, or a saxophone teacher. Yeah. And it's just something that it really makes kind of a lifetime of impact. And continuing to share their messages that they've taught to us is super important. Aside from specifically like the awards and things like that, we're also going to do a tribute. This is something that's self-serving for me, but there's a piece called Sorrow by the Westerlies. It's not originally by them, but we are using them as inspiration for what we're doing. I was supposed to play Sorrow as my senior year tenor sax quartet, and I didn't get to because of COVID. I was then supposed to play it at my grandpa's funeral. I didn't get to because of COVID. Right. So the first year we played Sorrow, it was great. We did 12 people. It was hard to kind of size up. It's a brass quartet. But this year we have, and during our intermission, right after intermission, we're going to do a tribute with photos of people that have passed away from COVID. Anybody is welcome to submit pictures of them, or anybody they want to tribute that to. And that performance really will just be some of the best musicians just playing Sorrow, and just 4 people, 2 tenors, 2 berries. And it's just, I mean, I know I'm going to cry. I know my whole family's going to cry. Yeah. There's more than just my grandpa that piece is going to be dedicated to. But it's definitely like, this is some strong stuff. Yeah. And I really just want everybody that is able to attend and to like be a part of that to really fully experience that and be able to tribute that experience to their past loved ones and things like that. Because that's really what we're in this for. It's the experience that we get as players and the experience that people get as audience members, and spreading music to unite and grow everywhere. Aside from that, this year, $50 is what we have to enter with. I know it's annoying for people. I know it's annoying. We've done 3 budget projections, which have all scared me to death. But our like super elevated budget said like That's if you really look at everything and really value it at what it's worth, which is obviously not going to be what we're paying. I think we can get it done. So we're trying to raise. Then from that will cover our licensing. That'll cover everything else we need with food. We're so lucky to have some great people there's Half Liter Barbecues giving us 40 pounds of pulled pork.
Wow.
Jaggers giving us 80 chicken sandwiches. Sorry, Canes. Canes did not get back to us in time. So we're still trying to get the toast and the sauce.
You gotta have the toast.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're also getting stuff from other individual restaurants. McAllister's is throwing us some iced tea, things like that.
So it's a whole just community
coming
together to support that.
Exactly. And we also have like Airbnbs that have been donated. Like for our faculty, we actually have an Airbnb downtown Indy for them to stay in.
Wow.
So that'll be great for them. But it's just so cool because everyone kind of gets to be together. We have a whole another year of housing. I think all the girls are gonna have their own house. I think we already got a 15-person Airbnb. So that will be kind of legit. I'm very excited.
I remember like the first year I stayed in the housing, I was at Val's house and it was just me.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so funny.
It was you, Val, and Hallie and Trinity in the ensemble.
There's more girls now. So
Exactly. We need, that's something that it really is just like, especially the area that we're in didn't have a lot of girls playing saxophone.
I mean, nowhere does, but you get more when you come to things like this.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Which is just so awesome. Yeah. Aside from that, we're playing some really cool stuff this year. I know I'm personally stressed out of my mind. You guys probably are a little too. You are a little too. I know that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But this is it's so nice because of how much you put into it and how much stress you go under, and then the release of the weekend of and after it's over.
Exactly.
It's like, but this year, Radiant Proms 2025, we're going to have lighting, great music. It's definitely more of something that is an experience for the listeners. We're going to this is our first charity concert as an official charity concert. There's more stories like this horn right here. I know I have a black soprano saxophone. It's an EX2 with a high G key, which I bought from my grandpa's inheritance. So we call that horn George. And it's very important to me that horn is there because that is him being passed on. And it's really cool because for me and my horns, and part of the reason that Radiant is the way it is I just kind of give them out to people to play. I think I've given you this one before. I sold it to you, to play a little bit. And it's definitely something that's like, wow, my grandpa's memory gets to be played on in a bunch of different performances by a bunch of different people. And it's the one horn that sticks out. It's the black lacquered saxophone, but you look at it, it's like, that's something really special. I'm super excited to make more memories like that with you guys, especially this year. This is going to be something really cool. We do need more people to sign up. We have 40 people now.
How many do we need?
55 is our minimum.
Yeah.
So we have a 15-person all saxophone big band, which is going to be burning. That's going to be so fun. And then for our sax ensemble last year, I want to say we had 47 saxophonists. Our pieces call for 21 to 22 individuals for each one. Right. So the idea is we're going to do doubling for most of it. So getting 40 people for the sax orchestra is going to be super cool. We're also basing it off of BBC Proms 2017. If anybody has seen the crazy video of the man that is potentially on a substance with pink everything doing circles while playing Mona.
I watched that video so many times. I was like, maybe I should play some Barry.
Yep, exactly. And so we're getting to we're basically not parodying that, but using that for inspiration. Yeah. We got classical saxophone orchestra next to a big band. We're really pushing the boundaries of what we can do with that. Playing Long Time from Harry James. That's amazing. Playing Moaning with everybody. Playing Gospel by March 4th, which I know last year Jump Up Superstar was a big hit. Yeah. But we kind of just get up like super sax style and kind of just lay it down. Exactly. Which is just so much fun. But no, I'm really excited to have you guys there. I'm excited for the people you've invited to get to experience.
That's going to be cool. Bring some high schoolers and convince them to stay in music.
Exactly.
Even if that's the one time a year they play, like in the Caroline Big Band.
Yep.
Still doing it.
And that's the really important part. And that's something that I think, even in talking to you, you didn't really realize. All of this has been built around mentorship. Like when I set up a seating chart for this last year, I looked at everybody and I'm like, this is who you're sitting by. Mm-hmm. The reason you're sitting by Tyree. Yeah. You were sitting by, I want to say Max. You are Max.
I had Noah and Josh right in front of me to turn around if I was ever too out of tune. Yep. He was like, you gonna play that note up the octave? I was like, okay, fine. Okay, I'll take it down.
Oh my God. And then it was even funnier too because if you look back down that row, it's like UC student, incoming freshman. UC student, incoming freshman.
Back and forth.
And it's everywhere in the ensemble. If you even look at it, it's like, oh my God, we put like two of the funniest high schoolers I know together. I'm like, this is gonna feed families or cause problems. But that's kind of what you get. It's a toss-up of everyone goes, and I mean, you guys, just the way that you idolize Phil Black, I will say you already have mentors in that group. And I mean, there's definitely people that you also look up to in the group the same way. Yeah. But no, it's just a super cool opportunity. So it's open for all saxophonists. We need percussionists as well. We have 4 percussionists right now. We need 12 total playing blue shades, playing arabesque. There's some serious percussion stuff in there. So we're playing some good rep. And it's just something that this year we're going to have an extra night on Friday. We'll be doing some surprise team building and ensemble building stuff. So that'll be a great time. Yeah. But it's just something that's super cool. I'm so excited to do it, especially this year. And really excited to see what it can grow into from here. Because I think we've done a really good job of making something to us that we all just are so passionate towards. And just being able to get people like that involved in music, like you said, like after college, after high school. Right. There's not a lot of reason to still keep doing things. So any reason to keep doing things that makes yourself and others happy, the world's a better place with it.